Alright, welcome back to the channel. I figured I'll do this video of rating all my gear that I took on my winter hike that I did about 2 weeks ago through the Smoky Mountains on the piece of the Appalachian Trail that goes through there. So I got my friend Daniel back. You haven't seen him since the paddleboard. And he's going to name off all these items and I'm going to talk about it, give it a rating if he has any questions, because he hasn't used any of these items because he didn't want to come on a winter hike.
Because I'm smart.
No. So first we're going to start with this the backpack.
The backpack is the Deuter Aircontact Core 65 plus 10. It says here, internal frame, 4 pounds, 15.4 ounces. That's just below 5 pounds. What's your initial thought about it? Your experience with it?
Actually, it's right there. Bad about this bag, it's too big. And at 5 pounds, it might not feel like it the first day, but the second day or the third day, you feel that 5 pounds. So if you're actually doing an ultralight backpacking and you want long distance, this is not the backpack. I would say this would be a short trip, overnight, come on back home. Good things, you got this pack or pouch where you can stick your sleeping bag in and stuff, so it's separate from everything else. It's pretty water insulated because it snowed when I was up there and my sleeping bag was still dry.
I kind of feel like, though, if this is like your sleeping compartment, if it was wet or whatever, it should maybe be more breathable. Maybe at least have some vents. Maybe at least have some vents with that mesh or something. Put like a wet sleeping bag in here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to dry.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least breathe. So you might have to like long term, you know.
They tell you to dry your stuff before you stick it in the bag.
Well, you know, sometimes that might not be an option.
Nah. But it's 65 liters, and then it's got plus 10, which is this brain thing here. It has a zipper. I guess I put my snacks and stuff, so I didn't have to dig through my bag to get through all my snacks and things that I needed when I was just walking the trail. But overall, this is a good bag. It comes with a water hydration pouch. You can put a water bladder in. So overall, a good bag. I wouldn't take it on a long trip like I did, because I felt the weight at the end of the trip. I'll give it about 4 trekking poles out of 5. Yeah, we're gonna rate these things out of trekking poles, not stars. So I give about 4 trekking poles out of 5. The only thing I had is it's just too big, really too big.
So kind of cumbersome.
Yep.
Let's talk about the tent next, because
I
feel like it's probably the second most important here. Okay, so here we are right here, and guys, I'm telling you right now, just picking this up to hand it for the thing. I mean, this is very lightweight.
This is just the tent itself. The poles I didn't bring, or I don't have at the moment.
Gotcha.
I accidentally left them at home.
But we're still looking at about 4 pounds.
About 4 pounds. It's not the ultra light like everyone likes. Like, dude, there's people that likes tents that weigh like 2 pounds. Jesus.
Okay.
But this one it's pretty light. I didn't feel it on me. I had it on the back part of my backpack because it comes with this dry bag itself, so I didn't have to worry about if it rained on it or nothing. This is a dry bag, and it just so I can get to it quicker. But yeah, I barely felt this thing. This thing was actually pretty good. I liked it. As far as a 4-season tent, no, I would say this is a 3-season tent. The cold is not this tent's friend. It got really... The ventilation in this tent wasn't that great either. Like, it got really cold, and by morning I had a lot of dew inside the tent. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, I only used this tent one night. The other night I slept in one of the shelters up there. So, I only used this tent out of one night. But I would say I'll give it about 3.5 trekking poles, just because it's just not a 4-season tent. It's a 3-season tent. The ventilation, as in getting condensation, getting it wet inside, it's not that great.
Well, for $139, that's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's one of the cheaper tents too. There's some tents out there that's $400 or $500, but this is. If you're working on one with a budget like I was, this is a pretty good tent, but not for winter. I wouldn't recommend this tent for winter whatsoever. So
how would you compare it to, say, like a Walmart brand of, similar size tent?
smaller.
For half the price.
For half the price? Oh, well, the Walmart tent is heavy. Really, really heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This one is made out of lightweight material.
Gotcha.
This one also comes with a footprint, so you put underneath your tent. So if you got woods or sticks or something, it's not going to poke your tent or poke the bottom of your tent.
Okay, well, that's good.
But oh yeah, it was a good tent for maybe mid-spring all the way to mid-fall. After that, I wouldn't recommend this tent.
Gotcha. So 3.5 trekking poles on that.
Yep.
Gotcha. Let's look to this Riff 15 sleeping bag.
Okay, I like this one. This is my favorite thing. This is from Nemo. It's a sleeping bag company. It is a 15 degrees. That's what they rate this for. The ISO rating, like true rating, is 16, 17 degrees. You'll feel comfortable. After that, you'll start to feel pretty chilly.
But you can survive.
Yeah, you can survive. Yeah. This one actually, I will contest to the 16, 17 ISO rating, because one night it got to about 18 degrees one night, and I was still pretty cozy. It was really, really cozy. I actually, it's good for side sleepers too, because it's not a mummy shape. It's more of a spoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's good for if people that wants to side sleep. This one is a regular. This is not the long. They come in regular, and one comes in long. Regular is for 60 inches and below, which is 6 foot.
78 inches.
78 inches overall.
So a little bit over 6 foot, and then the long
it will be
84. So you're gonna have 7 foot.
7 foot.
If you're long, so if you're
So if you're 6'6", you can squeeze into this. And if you're higher than 6'6", you can't get in this one. You got to get the long. But it's only 2 pounds.
I was gonna say, so how was the carry on it?
Dude, it's only like 2 pounds. I had it in the little pouch on the backpack. I barely even knew it was there.
Yeah.
It crumps up to this small, and then unfolds into a spoon-shaped sleeping bag. It's made out of synthetic down.
Gotcha.
Synthetic down is pretty much where it's not down, but it works the same way.
Understood.
Yeah, it's very, very venti. As in, if you got really hot, there's actually 2 side zippers.
Okay.
That will open up. It's not a hole, but it's like a vent.
Okay.
And so if you actually got really hot and sweaty, it vents out all your condensation. Dude, this thing, I highly recommend this.
So here's to me is the biggest question, because to me, like, I love going camping, but there's a lot of aspects to camping that are a huge pain in the ass. Like breaking down the tent and getting it back into the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sleeping bags too, breaking them down, getting them back in, especially if they come in some kind of,
this is getting easy
contraption or whatever. Like, it's like, how easy and convenient was it to break that back down and get it repacked back into your bag?
Oh, when I woke up and finally started to pack my bag, it took me all of like 20 minutes. For everything. Packing everything about 20. It would take 20 minutes for the air pad that we'll talk about in a little bit. The tent, everything. And I was packing back on the trail within 20 minutes. Now the only thing bad about this is I actually got this on sale, so I only paid $260 for this one.
Do we know what it retails for?
$400.
Woo!
Yeah, that's probably the only bad thing about this bag. But I will still give it 5 out of 5 tracking poles.
That was gonna be the next question.
This
5.5.
Dude, this is 5 out of 5 tracking poles, because this thing I would do this again with this sleeping bag. Now all this gear is for winter. I wouldn't say everything for all summer long, because I would not take this on a summer trip.
Well, we said you were there about 18 degrees, and let's face it, in the southeastern United States in the winter, that's about as bad as you're going to get.
Yep, about as bad as you're going to get. But yeah, that's 18 degrees one night, and I think it was like 22 degrees the other night, and I was pretty cozy, like to the point that
did you even think about? I mean, like maybe your face was cold, but did you ever?
Oh, this comes with a hood, so my face got cold. I just popped the hood over my face.
So at no point with that bag at 18 degrees would you say you were uncomfortable, or you would have woken up from being cold?
Being cold,
at any point.
Nope.
and that was with just that bag
and my
and a
overalls.
tent, and your little tent blocking the wind.
Yep,
no,
and overalls.
No internal heating source.
Nope.
All right.
No hand warmers, no hot water in the foot box.
Let's talk about the mat that you slept on top
Oh, the air mattress, the air pad.
The air pad, which is this big Agnes Air Core Ultra. Ooh,
Yeah,
Ultra sleeping pad, which we have right here.
This,
all right. It's not very heavy.
No, it's not actually. It's
not very heavy at all.
Nope. It's actually compacted already. This thing is really good itself too. I bought this to keep the cold out of the ground. That's pretty much what air pads are for.
Good thinking.
This has a R value of 4.5, which is really good for winter times. The only bad thing about this is it did keep me warm off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But when my hand or something came out of the bag and landed on top of this thing, I instantly felt the cold. That's the only thing I have bad about this thing. Oh, and it comes with this hand pump thing. It's a bag. And what you're supposed to do is put it in the air hole and then squeeze the bag full of air.
We're going to have to do a separate video on that.
Oh, we will. We can do that. We can do a separate video on that, how that worked. But yeah, that's
this is.
I'm going to be honest.
We're going to do some deep dives on some of these products later.
I'm going to be honest. When I got this airbag, I wanted to pump it up and see how it felt just to lay on it. I don't care about the cold. And I saw that airbag thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to try.
Yeah.
Could not do it.
So you're end up in the mountains and maybe high altitude going.
No, I actually I meant to. I forgot to bring it. I actually have this portable air pump that's like this big, and when you click it, it shoots out air, and it blew my air mattress up. I forgot to bring that thing. Man, I forgot to bring that. But yeah, I would say it worked for what it needed to be. This air pad is a 72 by 20. So if you're 6 foot, you can get on it. And if you're above 6 foot, your feet's a hanging.
Something's gonna be hanging. Yeah.
And,
so tread pull wise, what are we looking at here?
I would say about maybe 4, 3.5.
Right. Well,
just because of the whole, if you stuck your hand out and actually touched the sleeping bag, you felt the cold. Like this thing got super cold, and it's super lightweight. It's only about 2 pounds, I think. Let's see, no, 14 ounces, so a little over a pound.
Yeah.
But it was light. This is actually pretty hard to pack back in, though.
Right.
Yeah, you can't just like sleeping bag in the tent where you can just shove it in there.
Yeah.
You actually have to fold this thing up and kind of roll it as tight as you can.
To be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's something to think about too. I mean, like if you're up there, you've been hiking all day, you got a lot of stuff you got to conserve your energy. I mean, that's stuff to think about.
So yeah, this has got a R rating of 4.5, which is really good for the winter time. But it's to pack this thing back in here was. It took me longer to pack this thing in than anything else.
Okay, so let's talk about your thermals.
Oh,
and
I forgot to bring those too. But the thermals. Okay,
but the thermals I can vouch for because Travis came over when he first bought his. He came over, and I tried on the shirt that he got, and I ordered a set that day, and I wore that set on doing an HVAC job, crawling under a house. It was 20 degrees here, wind blowing, crawling through mud, and it
kept you warm, didn't it?
It made it not suck as much as it should have.
But I forgot to bring the thermals too. But it was just, they're not smart wool, but they're thermals that I bought on Amazon, and everybody buys these thermals that are like $80, $90. I bought these things on Amazon for $23.
Yeah, I mean
they'll keep you warm.
I've had the expensive Under Armour cold weather gear, and this, and for $23, I think yours. I think by the time I paid like $28 for it. But regardless, because you got the pants and the shirt, and it was every bit as good as those Under Armour like cold weather ones.
Okay.
Like straight up, dude. The Decathlon jacket.
Dude, this is 800 filled down. I bought this thing for all of $90. You do not have to get a down jacket that's $400. This thing right here,
it does it all.
Man, it keeps you warm. It's got a rating that it keeps you warm up to 23 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I literally put this on only when I was at my campsite. When I was hiking, I had to take it off. I sweat.
Bet.
I sweated bad.
Well, to me, I mean, like when I first when you first showed up here, we took the things out. Like I saw it, and my initial thought was like, oh, like when I picked it up, I was like, oh, you got a Marmot jacket.
No, no, this thing
that's
here.
Exactly what it looks like.
Oh, this right here. This happened when I was trying to warm my socks back up with my burner, stove burner.
Gotcha.
And got a little close.
Yeah.
But overall, it compacts pretty good. So if you actually need to take it, put it in your bag.
Yeah, you can turn that into the size of a grapefruit, obviously, if you keep going at it a little bit more.
If you had like a dry bag that zip it.
Yeah, totally.
But this was all of $90, and it was shipped to my house in like 2 or 3 days. It didn't come from Amazon. Came from a Decathlon. I can't remember the Decathlon. I can't remember the full name of the jacket, but I'll put it on the screen here. That where you can get it. But this thing, the only thing I really had trouble with this jacket was the zipper. The zipper is pretty difficult.
Touchy.
Yeah, it's touchy. Like it's one of them high school jacket zippers when we were having the 90s. And you couldn't, every time it hooked onto something, it was done for.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would say bad about this zipper. It's very touchy. It catches.
Yeah, it's like back when the hoodies were thick and heavy, but the zippers were garbage.
Yep. But that's the only bad thing. I would say 4.5 trekking poles for this just because of the zipper.
Oh man, that zipper alone. Holy crap. Well, here at the Decathlon, work on your damn zipper and get you a 5, alright? Come on. Otherwise you make a completely quality product.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
Fix your damn zippers. Alright, cool. This is the one I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, this is the last thing here. This is the Jetboil MightyMo. So I got this thing because I was in high altitude and cold weather. And this has a regulator on it, so it would work in cold weather.
Right on. So it looks like it comes with a bowl there.
No, this bowl set, as soon as I pull everything out here.
Or do you buy it separately?
Ooh.
Still got some water in there.
It's still got some snow in there. But the bowl set I bought separately from Amazon. Okay. It was only like $16. It works good for what it needs to be.
Gotcha.
But ain't anything special about it. And then you put that on top of there so you can make it like.
Alright, so you got this and then your Jetboil fits.
And then your
can fits in there and your.
Yeah, the can and everything. And
your regulator.
Regulator fits inside
all
the
fits
can.
In there. Awesome.
So it's a good size for anything. And this is all you need for a 3-day camping trip. This little 8-ounce can.
Right on.
You don't need to get a big, massive can.
How much are one of those cans? If you had
$8.
Okay.
But this Jetboil thing.
It has an igniter on it too. That's
it has
nice.
an igniter on it, and it has 10,000 BTUs, which is a lot.
That's a lot of heat.
So this thing was rated to boil a liter of water in 3 minutes.
Wow.
And in my other video, I'll put a link up here in the corner here, I tested that. And it did it in about 3 minutes. It was like 2 minutes and like 58 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. The water was literally boiling within 3 minutes. Now, that was in 34-degree weather, not low altitude, but not sea level.
Yeah.
But when I got to the Appalachian Mountains, when I got to this, it was the Smithfield shelter. That's the highest point that I stayed, and it was right over a mile high. In 18-degree weather, in that high altitude, it was 18 degrees, it boiled water in 3.5 minutes. Now, here's the kicker.
So disappointing.
Here's the kicker. When
So
I went,
disappointing.
no, it's not.
I know, I'm kidding.
All right, I was gonna say, hold on, no, it's not. That's amazing.
30 seconds longer than what they claim?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
So here's the kicker. Second night, I ran out of water to cook my food because this water source that was there was frozen. It's a creek, but it was frozen.
Why don't you go chisel out some ice?
I did.
Yeah.
From ice to boiling.
Boiling? What?
5 minutes.
Shut up.
No.
Shut up.
5 minutes. Ice to boiling in 5 minutes.
See, okay, so like I've heard about these things for a long time. The whole Jetboil, like the whole name brand and everything. So, but I've never questioned how legit they are. But what's the price on it?
Oh, this little. So, all right.
Say like if you get a kit with the can and the regulator.
Okay. So the regulator, they don't come in a kit. They only have the regulator, and then you got to buy the can separately. But the regulator was $59.99.
That's it.
Yep. And then the can $8. So you're looking at pretty good, but it's pretty easy to do. Oh, and it's got a little.
That's how you adjust the flame.
Yeah. Like.
What a beautiful design.
That's hot.
Dude,
That's 10,000 BTUs.
Dude, we're going to heat up home base in here in like 10 minutes and heat that up.
Oh yeah, no.
It's going to be like 70
But it's got it where if you want to boil, like if you're not cooking a freeze dry food, like if you're not trying to boil water and you're actually cooking some kind of food.
You're making coffee in the morning.
You're making coffee in the morning or something.
You can put your tin mug on there.
There you go. It has a simmer thing. Like you can put it down a simmer, it still turn it up a simmer thing. But yeah, this was actually a pretty good deal too.
Man, that's awesome.
And I would guess if you are going high altitude, cold weather, it would go ice to boiling in 5 minutes. I would give this thing a 5 out of 5. The price, the price is not bad at all for $59.99 just for the regulator.
I mean, obviously, it's small. Even if that was all made out of cast iron, it still wouldn't weigh that much. I mean,
no, it's pretty lightweight. I think it's 3 ounces.
3.3 ounces. Yeah. And it fits in there.
But I would definitely get this, even if it wasn't even cold weather or high altitude. I'll still have it.
That's one of the things that might just be good to have if your power goes out.
Well, no, I'm talking about if it was the summertime and we're camping over here in the Midlands and not going high altitude, I'll still bring that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, even if you're not doing it, it's just be good to have in case of a power outage or
that
something.
Too.
You know, you can just.
I'm actually gonna
throw a can on top of it.
Yep.
You know, emergency use.
Actually, I'm taking a trip with my dad to go run some trails for a day, and we're not gonna be close to having anywhere where we can have lunch. I'm bringing this right here. Well, now this is I would say a 5 out of 5 for Checker Pulse. I would recommend getting this. It's cheap, easy to use, and pretty much everywhere. Now, I wouldn't say that you have to have this, but if you're going cold weather, high altitude, I would get one of these. If you're not worried about cold weather or high altitude, you can get one of these off of Amazon for like $25.
Yeah, off-brand.
Yeah, off-brand, $25. And they work. They do. They work. That's what I have first, but since I was talking to some people about cold weather, high altitude, the one that I had from Amazon, I would have been there for a long time boiling water instead of as in cold weather and having ice. If
it would have even worked at all, and then you just would have.
That too, because I don't think mine had a regulator. But no, that's all the gear. That's all the main gear I took on the trip. I didn't talk about all the little knickknacks and food and stuff because I didn't want to talk. I wanted to do the whole gear review. All this gear, a good recommendation for somebody that's just starting to do backpacking. We're not starting to do backpacking. I would say if somebody's never done a cold weather hiking trip and they wanted to know which kind of gear and they were on a budget, I would recommend all these pieces. They were for my first time, I was comfortable. Never was I in worry that something was going to break or if I was going to be cold or anything like that. I would recommend all these pieces because that was my very first time doing something like that at all, and I did it by myself. I think it cost me roughly about $600 to get all this stuff. If you want to, if you're that person that has that money to just go get everything at once, because it took me a couple months to get this stuff because I've got children. So,
yeah, no sir.
So I would say about $600, maybe $650 to get everything that you need for your very first 3-day through hike in the mountains in January. And I wouldn't say through the mountains. I would say through the Appalachian Mountains because
Don't take that shit to the Rockies.
Yeah, don't take it to the Rockies. If you're in the Appalachian Mountains or if you're on the East Coast and you're looking for some good winter gear just for your first time, this is what you would need. Thanks for watching. We're gonna have some new things coming. He's got a little bit more time on his hand now, so you'll start seeing more of him. Thanks for watching, guys.